watching. Welcome to the garden. We're at my daughter's garden today. She's got a big terraced house. This is her small front garden. She moved in 2021. So all this garden was created last year. There was nothing in it except the Buddleias. And we really sort of put it together on a shoestring, having just different cuttings of plants from my garden. So we're going to set ourselves a timer of half an hour, yeah, and we're just going to start cutting back and tidying up. So if we start over here, so this here is Buddleia lucifer. It grows, can you see the new growth at the bottom there? And all you do is you pull out the dead leaves like that. All these plants were taken from my garden at the end of 2021 when I was tidying my garden up and splitting plants and things. And over there. This big monster thing is Shasta daisy. And you can hear it crackling, it's just completely dead. This again is Shasta daisy. Anything green like that and down low at the soil you could leave. This is Lunaria. So you can see the new growth there, and you just put the, also you don't even need secateurs, you can just snap them off. That's rubbish. We can put this right down. This will all come away again. Right, now this is a rose tree. It's beautiful, and you can't go wrong with roses if you just prune them back really hard. So you can cut it right back down to there. If you watch my other video, I'm cutting a rose in my own garden, and like I say, some people will say, oh, you need to take it right down to an outward facing bud and do it at this time of year. But if you really just need to get the garden tidied up a bit, that will thank you for it when it grows next year. Now this Lunaria here has gone very floppy. This grows about, I would say, 1 metre tall, has a big purple flower on it, it's beautiful. Some people refer to it as a weed in their garden, they don't like it at all. But it's a really good filler if you're on a very tight budget and you need to fill up space. So you see how much better that looks. Have you got the trowel, Jessica?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a look here in the sort of shingle bit, if you're used to garden, you'll know that that's a dandelion. If you're new to gardening, you will just get used to what plants you've planted and which are the interlopers, and you'll recognize that dandelions are very easy. They've got this to identify, they've got this serrated edge, and they have a very deep tap root. So you just put the trowel down low and then pull, and you get that thick root coming up there. So he's gone, and then while we're down here, we may as well look, there's another one. So what we did here in the garden was, because all of the plants were sort of brought in from my garden, from my sister's garden, but Jessica's done turf the middle of the garden, and then she saw someone's garden where they had this shingle, it's slate, isn't it? So what we did was we just put old compost bags underneath, and then loaded the bags of shingle onto the top, and I think it looks beautiful. These Buddleias, what you normally do is you would cut them back by about half in the autumn to prevent winter winds of rocking them and disturbing the roots. And then at this time of year in my garden, I've put mine right down to a stump, and they will grow this high in a year. Just couldn't believe it when I said how big and quickly it was going to grow. But the thing we found here is, because it's a very windy garden and all of the growth was new, it kept getting whipped about and snapped. So we're going to do a bit of an experiment, and we're not going to take it down to a stump. So I've decided to take it down to about this level, to put the height off, and then I'm going to put the branches back by about, I don't know, probably take about 12 inches off. So what you do is you go into where the branch has divided here, and you can't go wrong. You could cut it there, there, or there, because these are going to be the new branches that come out. I'm going to cut them down here. There we go. And it just takes the weight off the shrub. And you see, you can't even really tell that it's been pruned. I'm not going to do the whole shrub for you, because it'll be very boring to watch. But Buddleias are great. Butterflies love them. Fill your garden. They're relatively cheap to buy, even from garden centres. You see how long and whippy these ones got? You take it back to there, it just looks so much better, and obviously it'll put on loads of new growth this year. Wise, I'm going to take it down to there. Right, that's the overall effect, and then you just stand back and you can go back in and you tweak it. But if you look, what I've done is I'm trying to get rid of all the whippy bits of sort of thin branch and dead seed heads like that. So there's a few up here, and I've taken it back to where it's all lovely and bushy. But if you look into the bush, you can sort of see there, two very spindly, you want all that kind of stuff. And with Buddleias, like I say, in my garden, I've taken it, right, there's no green left at all. You can't kill them. They're like a rose tree. They will thank you for being pruned hard. This one, you see this really long, spindly bit here? I'm going to take that right down to a nice bushy edge there because of this one. Like I say, we'll work out how to put still pictures up, and you won't believe how beautiful this garden is. Gorgeous. Get these woody bits off the top here. I think, and just healthier. Right, so we just go back to my secateurs now. All this shed stuff. This is all Monbretia. It's sort of like a short sword-like leaf with an orange flower. Again, it's the type of plant that most people around where we live think of it almost like a weed. But it's so pretty and it's so cheap and it's such a good filler, and that's really what you need when you've got a lot of space to fill in a new garden and next to no budget. Chopping this away quickly. Right, this is the Linaria that I was telling you about. Lovely sort of like eucalyptus colour green, and this is all the flower off last year. You could just snap it like that, but I just tend to put it right down. This is another one. You can't kill it off by chopping it right back, and it will just burst back into life, and it will be all the stronger for having a good chop. The thing to remember about your garden is it's very forgiving. Even if something happened and you couldn't get in your garden for a whole year, things want to grow. It would just carry on growing. It wouldn't look as tended and nice as usual, but you know, don't panic about things. If you're not sure about something, ask a neighbour who's got a plant, or just look it up online and it'll tell you what to do. I always leave the Buddleia to this time of year, because if you try and pull these out in the autumn, you very often pull the bulb out with the core. Like this time of year, it just comes away in your hand. This is another plant that grows like a weed, gets a big pink flower on. I can't remember the name of it, I'll look it up. And I'll chop this right down. It's a beautiful plant, but it has a very unpleasant smell. But again, great filler for a garden. Right, that's a Shasta daisy, so accident. And what you do is, there's all the roots. And all you do with that is chop the dead off, say sorry, and stick them back in the earth. And he'll be absolutely fine. This Shasta daisy, this grows about a metre tall, big beautiful daisy. But at this time of year, you know, these leaves around the side aren't ever going to stand back up and look gorgeous, so you can just chop into him and leave the crown. And neatly come off. When I first started growing plants in my garden, I was always so tickled that something had grown and survived that I was terrified to chop it back, so I didn't used to do that, and I had weaker plants because of it. It always fascinated me when they came back. Right, so I'm down in the border, and I've just spotted, whilst admiring this lovely little iris here, there's another dandelion. Look how huge and invasive they are. So he's coming out. This is rosemary, and we've got a bit of a casualty here. So this little stem's died off. He's never gonna grow back nice and bushy. So I'm gonna take him off. And this here, as someone stood on him or it's wind damage, I'm gonna take him off, and it really doesn't detract the top. I'm just gonna nip the tops off. With rosemary, it's like lavender. You don't cut into the old wood, the woody bits. So chop all this off. Right. This is poppy. I can tell by that seed head it's a poppy. So another one's going to come up there, but you don't need to keep this dead stuff. He's coming out. Got some more iris in here. Right, now all of these here, whoops, well, that's answered that question, they're all dead. They were little pinks. Not sure what he is.
A poppy.
A poppy is he. I'm going to just cut him down at the bottom. He'll come back. This is the piece of New Zealand satin flower that I was talking about that I have in my garden. Beautiful, beautiful plant. What he is, I'm going to tidy him up. Right, so we're getting there. We're nearly done. All this fluffy stuff will come off. Just leave leaves and things that are nice and tight and bushy and healthy. Right, now here, can I just move you off there, Buddleia? Right, now I'll show you this. When Jeff bought this garden, this is a peony that's going to come up here, that's beautiful. But when Jeff bought this whole garden was full of this weed, and I have no idea what it is, so if anybody out there does know, we never use pesticides or weed killers or anything. Can you see it? It's someone said, oh, we used to pick that when we were a child. It's got a sort of like a concertina type of stem, grows about this tall, and with a very gnarly dandelion flower on the top. It's not pretty at all, and it was everywhere. And if you're not using weed killers and pesticides, the only thing you can do is keep digging it out and digging it out. So I think we turned the garden over 2 or 3 times before we planted, but this is it here. So if anybody knows, you see? And it sort of comes away in little chunks. It's horrible. Anyway, so he's coming out. This is more Buddleia. That's a bit of the peony. That's there. I don't know how we're doing for time. Probably coming up with the half hour. Always like to set a timer. And then it keeps you motivated. Especially when it's freezing cold like this. Right, we've got another rose tree here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it down to where the rose forks there. I'm going to cut it like that down to there. There's probably millions of rose enthusiasts out there screaming, no, that's the wrong place to put it, but these roses were in a tub in my garden, had been for a couple of years and did nothing, and I put them in Jessica's garden last year. Absolutely beautiful, weren't they? I'm very into roses now. Right, so I think I'm going to move all this crud over there, do this bit and then in the middle, and then that's it. So I'll see you in a minute. So last leg is this one here, which he's not too tall, because we actually did put him back a bit in the autumn. So if you look, I'm just taking these lovely shoots down to the next bushy part. At home I have what's called hair loppers. They're great. They're like a secateur on the end of a long handle, and they're for putting sort of thicker stems like this. So any stem this thick you can just do with your secateurs and it won't damage them. But this kind of thickness stem down there, can you see? You should use a lopper on that. I'm not going to use Jessica's new secateurs rather than mine. Basically. So this is the garden good to go. It took 45 minutes. I'm really pleased with it. It's all set now for the year ahead. I'll just have to keep on top of any weeds that pop up. We'll pull them out. But yeah, really pleased. So thanks for watching. Bye.